Hey, welcome to the Tesla Boomers podcast. I'm your host, Chris Derry, and I'm here to help boomers and their kids engage Tesla to make our lives even better. I'm going to invite experts into this podcast to answer the questions we're asking about whether to embrace everything Tesla has to offer us. We're going to discuss solutions to our mobility issues, to the potential of losing our car keys just because our kids want us to be safer, and to not wanting to take big risks as we get older. My guest today is Tesla Joy, a Tesla Model S owner since 2018 and an influential content creator on both X and YouTube. He specializes in helping new Tesla owners enjoy their driving experience even more. Today, we're going to discuss the application of Tesla's technology to reduce our mobility concerns and our natural risk aversion as we get older. Great to have you on my first podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor. And congratulations on starting your podcast.
You're welcome. Thank you. Well, let's get right to it. So I've enjoyed the messages that you've been delivering, especially to your YouTube audience. And I'm curious, Joe, you purchased your first Tesla EV in 2018. And you were in your mid-40s. So why, at that particular age, did you decide to purchase a Tesla?
Well, Chris, that's a very good question. It actually doesn't have anything to do with my age, but the maturity of the EV technology at the time. So I was not considering an EV at all. But through my previous work, that I'm not there anymore, I had a chance to visit the Fremont factory with my clients in 2016 and had a chance to ride in a Tesla Model S at the time, equipped with Autopilot 1, the very basic one, and Auto Park. So I was blown away at that time by the technology. And I was not able to afford a Model S at that time. Well, still can't really. But that's when Tesla announced a more affordable version, Model 3, right? I don't know if you remember the news, but people were putting in reservation deposits. And I actually didn't do it until 2017. And I did that because my old gasoline car, I had a BMW 328i at the time, and it started leaking, and there were a lot of issues with it. I was dumping a lot of money into that car to upkeep it. And then a colleague of mine at the time, he mentioned to me, he said, "Hey, Joy, why don't you consider an EV?" I think he bought the Leaf at the time, the Nissan Leaf at the time. And I'm like, well, the range is not going to be there. And where am I going to charge? And he said, well, it's just look into it. It's not going to, when you're ready to buy it, it's not going to be that inconvenient. The battery technology will be much better, and there will be charging stations around. So I looked into it, and I'm like, okay, I want to switch over to an EV, and I want to get the Tesla Model 3 because at the time, the Model 3 boasted bigger battery, right? So I wouldn't have to worry about, I have to go charge every day. And I live in a condo, and I can't install a charger at my parking spot. My condo was built in 1973, so it's not hooked for electric charger at my spot. And I actually have an outdoor parking. That's just not possible at all. So when 2018 came around and Tesla started sending out or shipping the Model 3, I was in the first mass wave of the owners that they open. So there were people that they got delivered Model 3 like in December of 2017 and then like March or April of 2017. But those are for internal employees and for those that have owned Tesla previously. So previous owners or current owners of Tesla at the time, before they open up to first time Tesla customers in June of 2018. So that's when I got it. So that was a long-winded answer to your question. But in short, I purchased this car not because of, I was in my middle age, I got a midlife crisis or some sort, but because I love the technology and I love that with the EV, there's less maintenance on my part. And potentially I was hoping that I could keep this car for 15, 20 years to come. So that was the reason.
So the technology in a Tesla is what attracted you. Now, I want you to think just a little bit as if you were a few years older and thinking about a Tesla EV as you approach retirement. Do you think the technology involved in Tesla would I be able to handle that? Would you be able to handle that? Or would it be difficult?
I've actually, just a bit of my background, I do have an engineering degree from my college, but I was in technical sales. I'm not in that anymore, but I was in technical sales for 25 years. So I have always been technologically more, I don't know, more capable than the regular users out there. So if I were older at the time, and I still would choose a Tesla because, like I said, the self-driving would coming so much handier. And now I'm in my early 50s. It has helped me a lot. With all the cameras on the car, it just extra pairs of eyes to keep you safe. And then the much less maintenance that I need to worry, right? So I don't have to go and get oil change, no engine flush or transmission flush. No, I don't need to worry about my catalytic converter being stolen because there's none, right? There's no exhaust pipe. I don't need to do smog check every year. It's just so little maintenance that I need to worry about on this car.
So how often do you have to take your Tesla EV in for maintenance?
I've never taken it in for maintenance. Never.
In 7 years?
No, there's no like scheduled maintenance. I mean, I take it to the tire shop where I purchase my tires from and get them rotated. I have a portable air compressor. Then, on the Tesla screen tells you what your tire pressures are. And when it gets low, I just pump the air, just plug in to the 12-volt connector inside my car. And then I just pump air into my tires. There's a windshield wiper fluid that I regularly pour into. That's it. And then the only time I've had to have something done by Tesla was when I had to change my 12-volt battery. And then another time I replaced the windshield wipers. I happened to be at an event hosted at a Tesla service center. So I went over and they were like, hey, if you want to change your windshield wiper, we can do it for him. I'm like, okay. So I can actually change the windshield wiper myself too. But other than that, I've not taken my car into service for the last 6.5 years since I've owned this car.
I think the baby boomers that are listening to us would be amazed at the little maintenance that you've had to engage in. And this was 7 years ago. So has Tesla improved the technology at this point that you think they'll be able to continue to do that? Or will it get easier or worse?
Of course, they're continuing to improve the technology. And every time Tesla shoots out a software update to our cars, there will be new extra convenience features or fun features that they will include. So it will make the car like brand new. And I want to also mention, especially for boomers and even older generation, right? I mean, I'm not exactly young, but 3 years ago, I compared to you, but compared to the 20 years old and 30 years old, I'm not. So 3 years ago, I fell and fractured my left arm. And I had to be in a sling for a while. And how do you drive, right? Safely, right? That's when FSD and Autopilot came in super handy for me. It took me around to doctor's appointments, and I felt so much safer operating and being in that car with my one arm not usable. And I've also I am a glaucoma suspect. So every year I go get my eyes dilated to look inside my eyes to check the nerves, right? So what do you do after your eyes are dilated, right? It's not like you have to, they don't tell you that you cannot drive. You literally can drive, right? But just all the lights and everything shining in your eyes is hard, right? So you'd be like driving like this, right? And that's not safe. If your car doesn't have full self-driving. So that's also another time when I found FSD to be so helpful and convenient. And so if with me being this young, that I've had these situations that could help me and keep me safe, I can only imagine how much the FSD technology will help the boomers as you want to maintain your mobility and you want to go out and still do things. This car can take you around and you don't have to worry about it.
Lots of people who have never driven a Tesla would not look at full self-driving with much confidence, because how could the car drive itself? So how would you describe the progression that Tesla's made into ultimately getting to full self-driving so you can just sit back and do nothing?
Yeah, so there are actually two different aspects to this question. So the first aspect is Tesla is continuing to improve the algorithm and the AI technology behind full self-driving, right? So that's Tesla's part. They are doing what they're supposed to do with all the, data scientists, software engineers, and roboticists, and, AI people to take in all the feedbacks from all the cars that are out there running on FSD.
And there are about 5 million of those cars all over the world.
Well, but the thing is, FSD is only really fully available here in North America at the time right now. So it's much less. There are people in Europe that have purchased FSD and it's not there yet, and they're just starting to work with China to try and open this up. So if we're talking about FSD, it's really right now more mature is the North American market, like US specifically, and they just opened up Canada like a few years ago. So it's not like 5 million, but it's enough numbers for Tesla to work on to continue to better this technology. So that's one aspect, right? So it's just going to continue to progress. The other aspect is on the user side. That's where I'm coming in, and I want to share my experience with all of you. Is that when you are not putting your hands on the wheel, you are scared of losing control of your car, right? So that is the biggest fear factor for people not using full self-driving, because they're like, oh, what if the car doesn't stop? What if it's going to hit another car, right? So I've actually shared a video last year, like about a year ago, because I realized a lot of people, especially women, they are not comfortable with letting go of the wheel, letting FSD do its thing. And this was also a hurdle that Alexandra, Tesla Boomer Mama, had. So I shared with her because she's like, Joy, I don't know, like I'm still scared. So here's how you can get comfortable with FSD. You can start on, so this is how I started. So I had, just autopilot. So I started with just regular autopilot, which is lane keeping, and it keeps up with the traffic in front of you, right? So I just used it on the, slower traffic, because if you don't feel comfortable, you can step on the brake and, it's going to cancel. You still have full control. So I started with that. So like gradually I started going, well, actually I started really on the freeway. I lie. I'm sorry. I take that back. But because the first day I picked up my car in 2018, I drove it on the freeway to go show my mother my new car. And I used autopilot driving at 75 miles, 80 miles per hour. And it was nerve wracking, but I let it go. But for other people who are less adventurous than I am or less crazy, I recommend that you start on, slower street, and then just feel out the distance, and then you gradually build it up there. So Alexandra told me she tried this on her car, and then she got comfortable with FSD. So now with me, when I'm in traffic and I see all the cars are stopping in front of me with all the lights, I might have my foot still kind of like hovered over the brake and the acceleration. I literally just put my foot down because I know the car's going to stop. So I have so much confidence now in this technology. I mean, it still does quirky things right here and there that I'm reporting back, but overall, in general, the car's not gonna make you rear end somebody, or it's not gonna do some lane change where it doesn't see another car in the blind spot where it's just gonna go run into that car. I am at the stage where I am more afraid of other cars around me.
Absolutely.
Because they don't have FSD and they may be distracted and they might come over, like just hit me. So like I said just now, when I'm in stop and go traffic, right? When I'm stopped in the traffic, I'm in the last car, I'm constantly looking in my rear view mirror. I'm like looking at the car behind me. Don't hit me, right? But because I know my FSD on Tesla is not going to hit the car in front of me, but I'm scared of the other car. And there have been a lot of times when there are distracted drivers. They would veer into my lane and my car would move away from it and go beep, 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 take control or whatever, right? There's a situation coming, but the car would literally like move away. So this technology is really safe, but if you're the biggest hurdle everybody has is losing control. Like you don't have control over your car. And that's how you can build up confidence.
But in fact, you have your hands, and your hands can always grab the steering wheel.
Exactly.
And your foot can always hit the brake.
Yeah. There are 3 different ways to disengage FSD. So one is when you hit the brake, it cancels it. Another one is I have the stock, so I just up tap it, and it, or whatever button you take, you press on the steering wheel now. It cancels it, or just wiggle, just yank your steering wheel a little bit, just wiggle it, it'll take it off. So there are 3 ways to disengage FSD at any time that you don't feel comfortable.
Another concern that I've heard from my boomers is, what if I run out of juice and I'm out in the country and I'm out? How does the EV help me not have that problem?
Yeah. So another great thing with Tesla's technology is, let's say you're navigating to a destination, you're on a road trip, right? So you input the destination on the navigation screen. It will calculate when you need to stop and charge. And there's so many superchargers around now versus like 6 years ago. It's not even an issue anymore. So Tesla's navigation will be able to tell you. So when you punching the destination, it's going to show you what the battery level will be when you reach your destination. And in between, if you should charge, then it's going to route you to superchargers along the route. And it will also tell you when you arrive at that supercharger, okay, charge 15 minutes, charge 10 minutes. That's it. And then you can just move on without having to sit there for like another 20 minutes to charge up to like 90% or 95% before you can move on to your on your journey.
So your EV, your Tesla actually gives you advice for how long you should be in a charging station, knowing that there's another charging station that you can engage at some point in the future.
Exactly. And then all the way to your destination. And I haven't used it, but I believe now there's a function where you can set, okay, when I arrive at this, no man land, I want to still have 50% of battery. Then it's going to calculate, okay, how much you should charge along the way. So then when you arrive at that destination, it's going to be at 50% of battery. It's that smart. So there's no worry at all.
How much range would you say your Model S?
Model 3.
Model 3. Your Model 3 has?
The original EPA is 310 miles, but it actually fluctuates. So because this car everything's operated on that one battery. So I actually don't recommend people to look at miles, the range, because you're just going to be like, well, it's supposed to be 310 miles, but I'm only getting 280 miles out of it. Well, because you have the electric motor, you have your HVAC, you have your entertainment system, you have the FSD camera, you have Sentry mode, right? You have software updates. So they all drain battery. So people often freak out, especially new owners. And I did the same in the beginning. It's like, well, it says that, this is supposed to be 10 miles trip, but it used 20 miles worth of battery, right? So then I realized, oh, duh, because everything is coming from that power. So I recommend people switching it to percentage, just like your cell phone, right? Because you're not looking at, well, how many hours do I get out of this cell phone usage? You're like, oh, I'm still at 45% versus 5 hours, right? Because it's not going to be accurate. It depends on the usage. So, but there is battery degradation throughout as your car ages. So mine has degraded. I don't know how much it's degraded down to, but I know it's not as full as before, which is fine. I'm still not worried.
It's 7 years.
Huh?
It's been 7 years.
Yeah, it's been 7 years. So I'm still not worried that if I drive my car out on a road trip that I'm going to be stranded somewhere. I have no concern at all.
So you've never had a situation where you felt nervous about not having enough battery?
No, and actually, I've intentionally tried to run my battery down to 0% just to see what happens. Um, I have done I've done a video where I ran it down to 0% before I pull into a supercharger and charge it up. And I often run my battery down to even single digit before I go charge. But typically I charge at around 20%, like 15 to 20%. That's when I'm like, okay, let's go charge. And when I'm not going out on a road trip, I go supercharge like once or twice a week. That's it. And I typically charge up to 90%. So between 20% and 90%.
So you live in and around Los Angeles. And when you go north to San Francisco, if you decided to go, how many times would you charge between LA and San Francisco?
Probably twice. So I've done the trip up to the Bay Area, not as far as San Francisco, but I've taken trips up to the Bay Area, Silicon Valley. So I would stop twice, 3 times at most, but twice. Yeah.
I love the fact that you are so engaged with technology. And now I learn you have an engineering degree.
But I forgot all of it, so don't ask.
Well, I did too, but
questions.
Years ago, I did the same thing. So when you look forward, because Tesla is so technologically focused, what do you think the impact will be for baby boomers when the CyberCab begins operating? And I think it's going to start operating in June in Austin. And so talk to us a little bit about that CyberCab and how it could help a baby boomer who wants to go from here to there without owning a car.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was at the CyberCab unveiling event, and I actually rode in a CyberCab, and I put a video out on my YouTube channel. Tesla really isn't a car company; it's a technology company. It's an AI company, right? And doing robotaxi is just part of the whole AI umbrella that their products sit under. And with CyberCab, it's a lot more convenient than I would say taking an Uber, and much safer, really, because again, Uber is being operated by a human being, and that human being can be distracted, right? The CyberCab, it's robotaxis. It's operated by AI technology, and so you can rest assured that it's going to keep you safe. It's going to be much safer than a human driver driving you.
So, how many cameras will be located on a CyberCab?
I don't know. I forgot. I don't know if I looked at it.
You have 7 on yours or 8?
I have 8. The new Model Y and the Cybertruck, they've added a 9th one in the front bumper. So, but I don't know about the CyberCab. I need to go back and look because I just rode in it. I didn't have a chance to walk around and look at it while I was there.
So those 9 cameras then are watching. And with full self-driving, they're watching everywhere. So someone coming from the left and the right and the rear, it's sensitive to all those because it's using vision, it's using video. And why does that make it safer?
Well, because your eyes are, your eyes can perceive a lot more than sonar or LiDAR, right? I mean, the sonar and LiDAR technology, they're just pinging to get the objects. But with cameras, the cameras are just like acting like eyes. You can immediately just pick out, okay, what color is this? What does this sign say? And you can also calculate the distance, right? With the depth. Our eyes are stereotypical, right? You have depth into it. So Elon has been so adamant about using camera-only technology, right? Versus, others they're doing LiDAR and all that, sonar, all that stuff. And he has a great point because this car, or even Optimus, a robot, right? You just need a pair of eyes, and then you have a brain, which is the AI. Then it can operate all the other motors and tell all the other mechanical, like my hands, like what to do. Cameras are low cost, right? And so they can continue to use low cost cameras on all these cars. And then I know that Tesla is in talks with other car manufacturers as well, try and license FSD technology to them, right? And this is a great revenue generating market for them, right? Because the Tesla technology doesn't require all these other car manufacturers to go install LiDAR on their cars. Just say, hey, get these cameras. These are the specs. These are the type of camera, power that will work with our software. Install them on your cars, and then install our software, and then boom, your car can do the same thing.
I think I heard Elon comment that he's not going to teach him Tesla. He's going to say, okay, buy a car, take it apart, and then figure out how to adapt that. And then we'll supply you with whatever you need and the software so you can have full self-driving even for your internal combustion engine vehicle.
That's correct. Yeah, there is actually another company that was able to do it, Comma AI. The founder, his name is George Hotz, who's a brilliant young man whom I actually met at my previous work engagement. At the time, I think this was probably almost 10 years ago, or 7, 8 years ago. He demonstrated that he had this low cost, like $150 kit that he installed on his like Honda Accord or Honda Civic, and it was doing full self-driving.
Well, the other thing you brought up, which is a fabulous idea, that is this humanoid robot that Elon Musk is working on. And I don't know, probably at some point when the movie The Matrix was going, we got a picture of how wars could be lodged with humanoid robots, one robot versus another. So I'd like to know, in your opinion, how can Elon Musk create a humanoid robot that would be potentially my doctor, would have access to all the knowledge, would be able to take my blood test and give a diagnosis to send me either to the hospital or to a chiropractor or just stay home, that could help me live a healthy life when I retire. How do you think Elon Musk is going to be able to do that?
The thing is, humanoid robots and companion robots have actually been around for a very long time. And again, I've been in technology field, so like 15, 20 years ago, I've seen robots, and there are robots built in Japan, actually. They're very big on companion robots, and they actually have built a robot, I think it was called Pepper by SoftBank at the time. I've seen it demonstrated at one of my work functions before, where they use it in the hospital as a companion robot. So with how Tesla might potentially have a robot product that could help the boomers as they age to diagnose potential, diseases, that shouldn't be a problem.
That's not a problem.
Yeah,
I have an
because you have
Aura
there you
ring right
go.
here.
Yeah, I mean, I have my Apple Watch, right? And it's, telling me when if one night I had insomnia, it's going, you had it out last night, you didn't sleep very well, right? So the technology is there, and they just need to give that knowledge base to the robot. And then, so when the robot sees you, for example, if you fall,
Mm-hmm.
right, the robot would be able to detect, oh, I mean, my watch was like, hey, you fell, right? Should I call a doctor, right? So the robot will be able to say, oh, this person fell, and then it'll ask you a bunch of questions and maybe try and, I don't know, physically do like touch you and see if they can do very basic analysis of your state. And then the robot should be able to assist you, maybe like call an ambulance or something.
Well, our watch, if we fall, because every now and then I hit the turf, and it says, "Did you fall?" And I say, "No." But if it said, "Are you sure? Do you want us to call an ambulance?" Like so I could click that, and boom, it triggers an ambulance. So the difference in a humanoid robot, at least from Elon's perspective, is to understand what's going on, to be able to interpret, and then suggest an alternative that is better. That's brand new with humanoid robots. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is certainly possible. Because now you have this in-home sort of assistant with you, right?
Mhm.
It's right there with you.
Always.
So it opens up a lot of possibilities of what this assistant can do.
So in The Matrix, you'll recall, there was a famous scene that's emblazoned in my brain of the leading characters, and they're on top of a building, and they need to get out right away, and there's a helicopter next to them. And the guy says to the gal, "Can you fly that?" And she says, "Just a minute." And she calls on her phone, and she says, and then you watch her eyes go, brrr, and all of a sudden she has the knowledge. She gets into the helicopter and flies away. What I understand is it's the vision of Elon Musk to put that capability into a humanoid robot. And so they would program it, and then it would know the difference between chicken pox and a rash and do something positive about it. Wouldn't that be fabulous?
Yeah, that's totally fabulous and completely possible. Because I was just thinking, now we even have the teledoc service, right? Where you don't even have to go in and see a physician physically, right? You can talk on the phone with a medical professional, and they can do the basic diagnosis of what might be wrong with you, and then suggest a solution and how to make you feel better.
So we talked about the ability of technology to really help a baby boomer at some point in the future. What would you say would be the first couple steps that a baby boomer might make toward being able to get these particular benefits from Tesla?
Well, start with the Tesla car. Start using FSD, and start building up your trust in the technology so that you are comfortable with it, and you know how it works, and you know in what ways this technology can help you. So that's your introduction.
Well, thanks very much. I've learned a lot from you already about your focus on technology and how that helps you. And I think you and I could talk for another hour about the benefit of all that technology, and maybe some point we will. Thank you very much. And remember, don't let the old man in.